Hey everyone, welcome to our little impromptu exploring Avatar episode with myself and my friend Drew from Avatar Sequels. And yeah, we're basically just gonna give our own thoughts and opinions and discuss the new trailer that just came out, which was pretty freaking incredible. So I'm still super hype about it. So hello to everybody that's here. And Drew, how you doing, man?
Oh, good, man. Super good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. I'm still like basking in the glow of that freaking the trailer, dude. So it's still awesome.
There was a lot to take in from that trailer, man. It brought the heat.
Oh yeah, for sure. Honestly, a lot more than I thought. I thought they would play it a lot safer than they did. It not to say that they spoiled a lot, but just like it was just awesome, intense. So yeah, we'll just go through it, guys, and at the same time, aside from our opinions, like kind of leave your own. Maybe you caught something as we're discussing it. We're gonna play it and just kind of go through it. Let's see here. Oh, we have Avatar guy. Hey, what's up, man? He says, "Hey, lads." And we have Santina here. Hello, everyone. Hello. And we have actually Bailey from Becoming Navi on Instagram. Bailey showed up. She says, "Woo." And Aftem Child says hello as well. So, hello. But
Yeah, what's
yeah,
up,
so
everybody?
what's up? Let's see here. But yeah, we'll kind of play it, go through it, kind of pause and play, and then just for every little segment, kind of just give our thoughts. So can't wait to hear what you guys have to say, as well as what me and Drew, because we've actually like held off discussing it for the most part. So it's going to be interesting to finally get, compare notes on what we thought about every little segment. So let me see if I can cue it up here for us. And at any time, if something isn't working right, just feel free to let us know in the chat. But I'll start off here. This one is just one of those scenes. It's starting off with one of those scenes we got at the end of the remaster. One of the three scenes. This one's the Soli kids and the Metgaina kids. Swimming in the ocean. It's good to finally have this scene like at home now. Like even if it's just a little clip of it, because ever since we saw them during the remaster, I've been dying to like have that footage at home to just like rewatch, even if it's just a little bit.
Yeah, it is,
Oh
and it's great to be able to see it, clear and not like someone's cell phone that recorded some 3D footage off of a movie theater screen. It's nice to just actually
yeah,
take it all in. Man, it's such a beautiful scene too. I mean,
it
there's not
really
much
is.
happening, but it's just gorgeous.
I already know these are going to be some of my favorites. Just all these other people might consider slow or boring, but just these taking it all in, the underwater segments and everything, I'm gonna love it. And I guess here's the first little talking point here. This confirms that we are going to see some type of flashbacks to that in between time from the first movie to now. So that's really interesting, man.
Yeah, I think it's cool. There's something a little odd in this too. Like it's like she pulls back the bow, she's looking, it looks like she's ready to shoot it at I don't know what. But then she looks down at her stomach, like acknowledges to herself maybe that she's pregnant, and then
Yeah,
kind of like resets herself and then goes to fire. So it's like, is she about to take on the RDA, some recoms? Like maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but it looked like there was something going on there in her head, thinking about her being pregnant before she actually fires that arrow.
yeah. I think it might be too early for any RDA or recom because uh, this should be like probably years before they come back. But maybe it's just hunting, and but like you said, it still plays into your, she's just thinking about the pregnancy or something. So, but yeah, that is pretty interesting right there. Let's see.
Dad, I know you think I'm crazy.
And just every little, almost every shot in this trailer is just beautiful, man. It's like a work of art.
It
But
is.
here,
I thought it was cool hearing Kiri actually call Jake dad. I know that that's how she was going to view him, but just hearing the words come out of her mouth was, I thought, pretty cool.
yeah. And honestly, I know me and you have kind of discussed, like, we've heard some of the, some of the leaked audio from that D23 footage, and we were kind of iffy on the voice at first. I think now hearing more of it and just, hearing her speak more lines, at least to me, it doesn't, I kind of like it now. Has your opinion changed, or is it still kind of the same for you?
No, I agree completely. I thought that footage that we heard from D23 with her trying with Sigourney trying to speak as a younger person sounded honestly kind of awful to me. But I'm not hearing any of that in this trailer at all. Like I think she sounds great. I mean, you can still tell it's
Yeah,
her, but she just sounds good.
yeah, it sounds really good. Maybe they reworked it or something, but probably just still figuring it out at that point when they, you know, put those out. But yeah, I like it a lot better. And then while she's talking, we do get another flashback. So even, hammering it in even more that we are getting these flashbacks. And a young Netayam, at least that's what I think. But yeah, man, it's awesome that we are gonna see, even if it's probably just small clips, see some footage of like the years in between. That's gonna be super interesting.
I also thought it might be Nethium. I wasn't 100% sure. I don't think there's any way we can tell other than maybe the hair, and it kind of makes sense showing him with his eldest son. If this is
Yeah,
continuing along that line of, which I'm assuming, flashbacks, or maybe this is where we'll start off in the movie with Neytiri pregnant, Nethium learning to hunt. The other kids might be even smaller at this point.
yeah, exactly. And so what Curie starts saying here is that she starts telling Jake that she can feel her. And we also get another, as we continue a little bit,
But I feel her.
we get a shot of the Tree of Souls. And I think right away, at first I thought, obviously Grace, like that, when they're trying to transfer the consciousness. But then my mind went to Awa. I think she's referring to Awa here. I guess it could go either way. What camp are you in? Are you thinking she's referring to Grace in these upcoming lines or Awa?
Yeah, in my head, like I have always thought as in all day. I've thought AWA as well. That's just what I assumed they were talking about. I didn't even think about it
Yeah.
possibly being Grace.
Yeah. But yeah,
Um,
because
I don't know if
that's been our theory here. Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but there seems to be a familiar character at the base of that tree there.
No, who is it?
It's a lot easier to see, I think, with like a large screen in
Yeah.
4K, but it looks like Moat to me, um, leading whatever's going on.
Yeah. Let's see here. If I'm not mistaken, you could also see A2 Khan, I believe. So this might even be when maybe it's a scene when even he was alive still. Unless I'm completely mistaken, and maybe it could be Jake wearing the because we saw in the art book that there was a concept they drew of him wearing the
Right.
garments that the A2 Khan wore throughout the movie. So it could be that. But that's what I see right there, yeah.
I hear her heartbeat.
See, in that little shot right there, do you think that's kind of emanating for like the connection between her and like the environment around her, or do you think it's like a helicopter or something? What do you think that is right there?
Well, because of a scene that we see later on, I think it has to do with her. But
Yeah,
I watched it several times. It's kind of odd a little bit, but it almost looks like that power or whatever is causing the grass to blow outwards in a circular pattern, Looks like it's coming
Yeah.
almost from right in front of her or right above her right hand or in between her hands, maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not for sure of that, but it definitely seems something like that versus a helicopter because the Ato Carina seem to be flying around just fine,
Exactly.
and they seem to be drawn to her.
And then we get more hints later on as we get to it, but it does kind of seem that I don't know. I don't know what to call it. I don't know if we call it powers or just like a bigger connection to the environment and everything. Uh, so far, what do you think about that concept?
So far, without taking in consideration what we see so far, or what we see later in the trailer, I'm just kind of intrigued at this point because
Hmm.
taking it at face value, at least, it feels like there's some sort of energy or power coming from her. So I'm just intrigued. I'm
Yeah,
intrigued still to find out what she is, who she is exactly. I mean, I think we have a decent idea, but we also don't know how she came to be yet.
exactly. And I think right here it's just hammering home what we've kind of been saying, that we feel it's some part of her. It could be the stored consciousness of Grace, but some part of her as well is going to be Awa, maybe even like a physical representation of her. And that's been my theory for a long time. And I think this trailer, if anything, it's along the way, it just keeps confirming it like more and more.
Heartbeat.
I agree completely.
She's so close.
No, no happy scenes. And then I don't know, I'm getting vibes, man. I'm kind of scared for Neytiri in this movie. I mean, I don't think either of those two will die in this movie, but I don't know. This trailer would have you think otherwise.
If Neytiri dies, I'm out. I'm
No,
done
you're
after
not.
Avatar Part 2. I am gonna pick it. I will pick it Lightstorm every
Uh,
day until this franchise dies if they kill Neytiri in Avatar 2. And don't think I won't.
you will
But
not. You
no,
will
it was
not.
cool seeing her and Jake Sully, like the good old days, Avatar 1, they're on their Ekron, they're flying together, just having a good time. I love seeing scenes like that.
Yeah. Smiling faces. Awesome. Because
A
later
few more
on,
wrinkles than before.
oh man, just
What's your
beautiful.
heartbeat sound like?
So again, just another example of Kiri and the connection she has with Pandora. I mean, the fish or tadpoles, whatever they are, just swimming around
Yeah,
her feet. Just
exactly.
everything seems to be drawn to or just kind of interact with her in an organic way. It's pretty cool. It's very
Yeah.
intriguing.
And this scene right here, I'll touch on it more because we get to another shot later that really illustrates the point of this. So
Mhm.
I'll circle back to what we're actually looking at right now that she's going to connect to. So I'll circle back to it, but yeah, I'll just make a little mental note there. Let's
Okay.
continue here.
Mighty.
And this right here, man, one of my favorite shots, just seeing the two Tokun rise out of the water, Tonawari on a skim wing. With the Tokun, it reminds me of like the cover to the art book we saw recently. Because I remember I
Yeah.
posted somewhere where I was like, please, give me this like in the movie. And honestly, that's pretty close. Like seeing the two different Tokun just rise out of the water like that, man. This movie's just like, it's just the type of visuals that, at least for myself, like that's what I want to see right now. Like that'll just, it's been a rough 2-3 years. So man, this movie just looks like the escape of the perfect kind.
This part right here, just seriously, every time I watch it, I just get the chills. Like, it gives me the goosebumps. I love it.
Yeah. And we see the Cove of the Ancestors again. And then there's going to be actually another shot, I believe, of the Cove of the Ancestors that comes a little later. But this one's just the same one
Is
that we
it
got in the first teaser.
Is the other shot you're thinking of at nighttime by chance?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I thought the same thing when I saw it as well.
Yeah. Let's see here. Some people agree with us so far. Spider-Man says, I think it's Awa. Let's see here. And they were saying, like, I believe with the emanating when she was laying down, that perhaps it's Awa recognizing Grace within Kiri in this scene. And then Naomi's trying to calm you down, saying Neytiri will be in the next movie, Drew. Relax.
Hey, thank you, Naomi.
And the rest of the
I
fams.
appreciate that.
Just everybody, okay? They're all going to be in the next one. So relax. Well, thank you for chiming in, everybody.
When they were filming Avatar 2 and 3, it seemed like Zoe Saldana wrapped up quite quickly. But
Oh,
that
no.
worried me at the time. I was like, man, she did not do motion capture for very long compared to everybody else. But hey, maybe she had a lot of other projects going on. I mean, there's no telling. There's definitely
true.
workarounds for that. So
No,
I'm
you're
not kidding though. If Neytiri dies, dude, it's on. Me and James Cameron are gonna have words.
We're trying to get out of that thought process, and you keep adding more fuel to that fire. And then she did cry watching 20 minutes of the movie. No. But maybe just because it was so beautiful, everybody, okay? All right, let's see here. Just more amazing scenes. I'm telling you, man, I'm going to love all this, like, just give me a full hour on the side, you know, of just all these extra scenes of like enjoying the Pandora underwater, you know, just all the sea creatures. I'm gonna like love all those scenes, man.
I'm the same way. Like you could give me 3 hours of us watching the Amathakaya in the forest still, and I'd just be enchanted with it, dude. I just love Pandora. It's just beautiful. But I am excited to expand out from the Amathakaya. I'm glad we're going to the ocean. But even if they never expanded out, I would probably love it just as much.
Yeah, but I think like I'm loving that that this is the choice they have made, and we're confirmed to even see, you know, other biomes. It's like we haven't even fully explored this one, and my mind starts already racing. Like, you know, what's a polar biome, you know, gonna look like in one of the future ones? What's a desert one? It's just like, all right. Let's dive into the water first because we haven't even fully learned all of this yet. But it's exciting, man. It's exciting that we're gonna keep seeing, you know, new things, new creatures, new environments, new cultures. So, man, it's gonna be a fun ride these years.
It is, man. It's going to be really exciting. Again, it's like they're just blowing me away what they're doing with the Met Hyena. Like I remember the very first time we saw them in some concept art, and they're kind of odd looking, but I mean, it was for a reason, you know. I mean, everything's so well thought out. It's just the level of detail in this movie and this franchise just is what sets it apart in my eyes.
Yeah, like you've said it before, like it's not just about the visuals. Like anybody could design something just to look cool, but like you said, it's all the little details that they go into. That's why this stuff takes years. I mean, even in the first movie, I remember him saying that it took years just to get the Banshee itself right. And you think like years for a design of one creature, you know, out of the many in the movie, but it's like, yeah, because everything, you know, works. Everything on the creatures is designed there for a purpose. Like everything serves a purpose, as we'll learn in the, you know, the DK book, the visual dictionary. Like we've already seen that skimwing page, like every little fin, everything. So it's just crazy because you normally don't see this type of, you know, deep dive into them. You just kind of see in recent movies like, hey, you know, it looks cool and it serves its purpose in the movie, so that's about it, you know.
Yeah, James Cameron definitely takes everything just to the highest level, you know. I mean, we've seen it all several times where he wants to know why a certain aspect is on a creature or on an amp suit. He wants it to be workable, not just look cool, not just have big missiles, not just have fins for no reason. He wants it all to have a purpose.
Exactly. And we got a comment here that says trailer definitely avoided spoilers. I really think so too, man. And let's see, I believe a little far back, we had one that come in that says, "Wow, Avatar 2 trailer comes no Bridgehead City, no Norm, no Quaritch saying any dialogue," and it's kind of weird because we were just talking about how they gave us so much with this trailer, but yeah, when you lay some of the other elements out, you're like, wow, yeah, we really didn't touch on all these. But I like that in a way, and I hope the TV spots that are going to come as well just kind of show more of these that we've seen, because I do want to be surprised. I do want to see a lot of these elements just play out in the actual movie. But yeah, so I'm not too bothered by it. I don't know if you are, Drew, like not seeing some of these other elements.
No, I'm not bothered at all because I want the movie to still feel fresh, and since it's going to have a 3 hour plus runtime, I almost am for sure it's going to, because as people are saying, there's a lot we still haven't seen that we know is coming. So I can only
Exactly.
imagine what we haven't seen that we don't know about yet.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, because those were just elements that weren't in this trailer, but like you said, we know they're there. Like you said, what are the stuff that we don't even know is there? So, what's the whole deal with the Cove of the Ancestors? What's all this other stuff? Maybe even things that they haven't even hinted at. So we have no idea to even think about it. So it's gonna be super interesting. Brianna Brown says, "I'm happy with the trailer. Didn't give too much away." I'm in that camp right there. I'm kind of glad, it didn't give away that much, and that we didn't see a lot of the elements. I like that a lot of that RDA purpose that we kind of got from that page from the visual dictionary hasn't yet come across in the trailer. And I like that, because for a lot of the general audience, they're going to learn their purpose and everything, like with the movie, hopefully.
And this is a little off topic, but I just want to say thanks to Britt Anya for always coming to every one of our streams. I always see her there, so thank you for supporting us.
Oh, for sure.
And
She's
not
like
the only
comments.
one, but I always see her. So
Yeah, even on our socials, like she's on our Instagram, Twitter. She's everywhere, man. So thank you so much for all your support. She says hello, everybody. So everybody say hello. And let's see. Let's continue on with this trailer. But here we get our first look at some action here. And honestly, my first thoughts on these when we first saw them, like in the original teaser, like the look like stilts and everything, I didn't really like care for it all too much in that teaser. But honestly, see it in action right here, it's kind of like an amp suit. You're more exposed, but I believe because it's a lot more nimble and agile, I believe in a way it could even be more dangerous. I kind of like it here in this small little clip that we get.
yeah, I think it's a lot more exciting than, it's almost like an exoskeleton for an RDA human. I think that's more exciting than just a human. Like if it was just
Yeah,
a human running. So yeah, I'm all about that. Plus, it makes them bigger, stronger, faster. Helps them, compete with what ultimately they're going to be fighting, which is the Na'vi.
exactly. Because even though we know they have the recoms and those are basically, they can go toe to toe with your standard Navi, it's good that just like this, like you said, it's kind of an extension just for the regular humans to join up. So there's not a lot of them on foot. There might still be some, but I hope for the most part a lot of them do get even just that little suit right there, just to make them, like you said, in general more formidable this time around, more dangerous. But yeah, I like that little thing. I don't know. I haven't been able to pinpoint what I think is burning up here. Do you have any thoughts on that one? Obviously, it kind of looks like the forest or whatever. I just can't pinpoint when I think that would be.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had a couple of trains of thought on this. My first thought was hey, is this the Omaticaya forest? Sometime before they leave, like, is this one of the events that happened that ultimately led to them leaving? My second train of thought was we know that Jake, well, I don't remember if we know if Jake goes or not. We know Neytiri goes and tries to free some of the captives in the forest from the recoms. I don't remember who all goes and who all's captive because I've only heard the audio. But I was thinking,
Oh
I
yeah,
wonder
yeah,
if
yeah.
this is something maybe they caused some destruction. Um, but I don't know.
Probably.
There's no
Yeah, you're
telling.
right. Like I guess seeing that this is probably before they even go to the Mythgaina, just kind of seeing the destruction that maybe Quaritch and the Recoms are willing to deal out just to kind of track them down, and as they're just pursuing them. So it could just be something like that. More fuel for Jake to be like, we gotta go because this is what they can keep doing, and at the end of the day, it could hurt the Ometikaya clan more than us staying with them to potentially help them.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, but the next shot, man, that one's the we get a Quaritch because we've known or we've speculated for a while that it was him going to that site of where his amp suit was, where he died, his human body died that he was staring at.
Uh-huh.
And they kind of confirmed it yesterday with that picture. But here it really confirms it. I believe that's him crushing, his human skull. What do you think?
No, exact same. And I mean, look how tiny that skull is. It looks like a softball in a human's hand. Like, it's crazy. And that face he
Uh,
makes just before he crushes it, to me, I kind of took it like this. Like maybe he was looking at one of two ways: how weak he was as a human and how strong he is now, or maybe just how
oh, that's a
disgusted
good
he
way.
is that he was killed, you know? So I thought maybe that
Yeah,
was kind of the two things that popped out of my head. Like, either way, he's not happy.
exactly. And that's perfectly right because that's what it gave me. Like seeing his face, you can kind of even still see it here. Like it's a mixture to me of like anger but sadness at the same time. So it would completely
Hmm.
apply to what you just said. Man, I love that, just his little expression right there because it conveys that so well. Man, it just looks like photo real, dude.
That and if he is, well, I mean, he's a recom now, so
Yeah.
he's in an avatar body. Well, if Earth, in the meantime, since he's been here and killed himself, if Earth is dying and they're having to ship over people to Pandora just to live, like he's in the perfect body now. Um, so he may have come to terms with the fact that he'll never be a human again, because I mean, this is the body he needs to live and
Yeah.
thrive and do what he wants to accomplish on Pandora.
Yeah, because that's when you think about it like that. Like he's in the first movie, he's all about Earth. He didn't care about Pandora. He doesn't care about the Navi. He's just there to do what he needs to do. And now, like you're saying, he's back as a recon. Basically, he's back as a Navi, as what he hated. And now his home can't even really be his home anymore. The planet itself is dying, and then he himself would die if he wasn't using a mask now. Like now he has to use a mask just to for his own environment that he's known all his life. So man, you're right. Like there's so much to it. So I'm like so excited to see his whole arc play out because I don't think it just like the first movie they're like, oh, he's so cookie cutter, like he's just one note. Now it's just gonna be like a whirlwind of emotions that he's gonna feel.
Yeah, I think his arc ends with him killing Neytiri and Jake Sully killing him. I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh my
That's going to
god.
be in
Spoiler alert.
Avatar 12. Avatar 12.
Avatar 12. I don't need more
Yeah.
than 5. No, we talked about it. We're good with 5. Afton Child says that gives me Terminator vibes. Yeah, it does give me like T2 vibes when the exoskeleton foot kind of crushes that skull at the beginning of the movie.
Hmm.
I would
I
see it
agree
from
with
there.
that.
But let's see here.
We cannot let you bring your war here.
Here we it looks to be the when the Solis first arrive to the Metcaina clan.
That's what I thought as well.
That's all they see.
Like when they
That
first
line
appear.
does confuse me though, because he says outcast, that's all they see.
That's all they see.
I don't know
Well-
if he's talking about himself or if he's still talking about Payakan, the Tokun, because we've seen from one of those scenes at the end of the remaster, you know, when they were talking about an outcast, Tonowari was referring to Payakan. So I wonder if we're, you know, they're kind of just, you know, melding two different, you know, conversations or two different phrases here to kind of make it seem like he's talking about himself. And then she says, "I see you." It could be, but I feel like the outcast is still maybe Payakan that he's referring to when we see it in the context of the movie.
I agree. That was the same thing I was thinking. Like they don't understand this bond that he's formed with him, and maybe I think he feels like Pycon is completely misunderstood by the Metcaina people, and that
Yeah.
is the outcast, not necessarily himself, but maybe he becomes part of that since he has such a close bond with Pycon. Maybe in return, with them looking down on him, they kind of look down on Loak as well. So I felt like maybe it could kind of mean both of them.
Yeah, exactly. And then with Soraya answering, "I see you," it really, you know, keeps hinting that these two, you know, relationship will blossom either in this movie and in the further sequels. So I still think that's what's going to happen. I think Loak and Soraya will end up together. I mean, shoot, I've told you, and I think I've said here on the stream that I think he's gonna basically like be the leader of you know, the future Metcaina clan. Like I believe he's gonna become like their Jake Sully in a way. You know what I mean? And get all the way to leader while, you know, while being with Soraya. That's my theory.
I hadn't thought about him leading the Metcaina specifically, but yeah, I'm getting the vibes that maybe those two are going to become kind of the next Jake and Neytiri of the story at some point, especially with a movie coming called The Tolkien Rider, which we assume is going to be him and Pycon. So
Yeah.
it's going to be really interesting to see where these two characters go, especially together.
Because it seems out of any footage we've seen, it seems he's the one that's has most adapted to the whole way of water. We even later in the trailer are going to get lines from him that literally reference the way of water. So I'm wondering, like I think I've said it before too, like I'm wondering if different Soli children are going to really find their place and their home in different areas throughout Pandora, you know, and just the Soli family itself is just going to become like really highly regarded throughout all of Pandora, and he will just choose to stay here in the, you know, in the oceans. So maybe.
That's an interesting concept. That's something I hadn't considered.
Let's see. Little conflict there on the beach. Always good.
Mm-hmm.
I see you.
So here's my thought on this one right here. This one's the one I said pin it. We'll come back to that previous one. I believe in that previous one we saw Kiri about to connect to one of these like giant, I don't know what you'd call them, leaves or whatever you call it. But I believe this is like their tree of souls. It just happens
I
to
agree.
be
I thought the same thing.
underwater. Yeah, and when I really thought about it, I was like, it makes sense because there is, yeah, the Tree of Souls that we know from the first movie, but not every clan from throughout the entirety of Pandora goes to just that one location. Because if not, then the Ometecaia would have already known the Metcaina. They would know the polar clans and the, you know, basically the clans from every other biome in Pandora. So I believe maybe there's just like each different biome, each different environment, because I don't think it's each culture, I think each environment might have their own. There's the forest one, which was the Tree of Souls, and this one looks like it's underwater. So maybe every different region of Pandora is going to have like their version of the Tree of Souls where they connect with Awa the best, you know?
I agree, and it makes sense because the Metcaina obviously spend most of their time in or right around the water. So there may not be any of those willow trees within miles of where they are, and they still need a way to upload their thoughts and communicate with their ancestors. So I think this is a brilliant idea, really, having it be in the
Exactly.
actual ocean.
Exactly. And honestly, I hadn't even thought about it until I had seen it and I was like, wow, it's genius. I think that's every different location region will need their basically, whatever you call it, their hotspot in order to connect to AWA. So that's awesome. I really love that concept. Let's see. We do have somebody that chimed in and says the Tree of Souls probably got destroyed within these last 13 years, as even though they failed to bomb it and the end of Avatar 1 and lost the battle, the RDA still know its location. It is a really good point. But
Yeah, it really just depends kind of what's happened during this time. I mean, we know obviously the RDA comes back, but we're not sure yet on the timeline what year that is that they come back.
yeah, exactly. Well, they're right. They do know the location. They were trying to bomb it in the first movie, so can't believe somebody's like, man, you know what? I don't remember where it's at.
The way of water.
Man, just beautiful. And here's that other one where I believe this is the Cove of the Ancestors again, because you still see the floating rocks there on the sides. Everything just seems similar, but man, the sky, the what do you call those? The aurora lights, or what do you call them?
Oh yeah, like what we have, like the Northern Lights up north.
Borealis. Yeah. Man, it looks awesome.
So I wonder if this is the Cove of the Ancestors, if
Mm-hmm.
that giant, for lack of a better term, underwater tree where she connected, I wonder if it could perhaps be in this area in the water.
If it lies there under the water, probably maybe that's why these two were kind of connected like that, and they were both seen to be at night. Maybe this is when they're going to it, and then because she is kind of looking down a little bit, Kiri. Maybe it is down there, and they just have to dive down and like go interact with it down there. I guess that would make sense.
It would kind of bring in why it could be the Cove of their ancestors if that's where they can communicate with their ancestors.
Exactly.
But no idea, just a thought I had.
Yeah. And then let's see here. Oh, I love this. Finally, our first look at the Sea Dragon mothership. And that looks amazing, bro.
Yeah, and the scene right before this, it was super quick. It was Jake and Tonowari coming together. I also got the vibe that was from when they first came, and Tonowari was letting them stay.
Yeah.
And if you notice, Renal kind of looks down at the very end of that, like just kind of felt like we were going to regret this.
Yeah, I was about to
She
say,
wasn't for it.
what have we done? Because we have kind of learned that it's the Solis kind of invoke this. I believe it was called Ukuru, right? Where it's kind of like you have to, and throughout all of Pandora, all the Na'vi cultures, if somebody invokes that when they come to your location, you have to provide them sanctuary. So it was kind of like they might have maybe wanted to do it, but at the same time, they're kind of like, according to this pact, they have to do it. So yeah, it's probably like, man, we're probably gonna regret this, but we got to do it, I guess.
And like you were saying, back to the Sea Dragon, man, that thing is wild. I think I can see a crab suit on deck, and I think a crab suit's fairly decent sized vehicle, and it's pretty small on there.
Yeah,
So this thing really packs a punch.
because we're gonna see it's carrying. We're gonna we've known it carries the Mako submarines. We know it's gonna carry two other boats: the Picador jet boat and the Matador gunship. And honestly, it looks like if anybody has researched like big whaling ships, like big ships that where they kind of they get the whales and they process them and everything. That's what this gives me the vibe of, and the that speaks to the whole message, of the that's what they're doing. They're hunting down Tolkuns or some of the other Pandoran sea creatures for whatever reason, and maybe processing them or something.
Well, and now that we know that the humans are coming here not just for obtainium, but to live, they may be hunting whales for the meat. It may not even be necessarily for a bad reason. They're just trying to survive, but at the same time, the Tolkun means so much to the Metcaina people. That's not going to be acceptable.
Yeah.
Before your
Man, just shot of more of them on skim wings, man. It's just amazing.
I
Kind of
love
like we
this
still got a
because
Banshee
there's
there.
yeah, that's actually Neytiri, and her and Ronald look at each other at the
Hmm.
very beginning of this clip. Just
Yeah.
kind of give each other a look. I thought that was awesome, though. There's Ronald, fighting what I'm assuming for her family, pregnant, but still out there just giving it all she has.
Man.
birth and after your death.
And I believe that's Loak, if I'm not mistaken, speaking, saying that the way of water and how it affects you at your birth all the way to your death. And here we see like a baby Navi just rise up from to the surface of the water right next to the Tolkun, wondering if some of this has to do with any of that birthing ceremony that we've heard from Kate Winslet, that her character Ronald is going to be a part of. I don't know, but that's very interesting.
That was definitely my thought. That was my thought as well.
Yeah. And maybe that's
And
how
we
they
know they have,
sorry.
and we know they have a special bond with the Tolkun too. So maybe this is the Tolkun that this baby will grow up and have that bond with. I'm not sure. I don't know how that works, but it's interesting that there's
Exactly.
one right there so close.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, that we had seen on the page of the visual dictionary that they say they each have a spirit brother or sister Tolkun. And you're right, maybe this is how they determine which one is your either spirit sister or spirit brother Tolkun. They're kind of present at your birth. So that's pretty interesting there.
And after your death.
And here's this scene where, yeah, you pointed out to me right away. You're like, man, the recoms and the RDA are burning down the Metcaina village, or at least a portion of it.
Sure. And actually, is there anything else that you noticed that you wanted to point out with this?
Yes, I believe, I can't see it here, but I believe Spider is with them.
That is exactly what I saw as well. It looks like Spider's at the front, and it looks like Metcaina people are all tied up, being held captive. And there's 2 or 3 Ekron there to the left. Skimwing, I think, dead in the water. But yeah, it looks like Spider is with the Recoms, and it doesn't look like he has his Na'vi stripes on that we see in other shots.
Let me see if I can back up a little bit.
Before your birth.
Let's see if I can pause it at a right point to maybe see him a little more clearly. Man, yeah, it's not too clear, but that is what I thought I saw here too. So that is a very interesting point where it's like, is he still there against his will? Is he still a captured one? I'm
Right.
hoping that's the
Did
case.
the recoms go there with the idea of liberating him, so to speak, from the Sully family? Is that why they came? I mean, just throwing out ideas. It's just
Yeah,
interesting that he's the one walking around with them, and everyone else seems to be captive while their village is on fire.
exactly. And then we see the dead Elu, or yeah, looks like an Elu. Yeah, dead Elu there in the water. Let's see here. Then we get some action shots. You get Loak against a crab suit here.
Yeah, I thought there was some different editing right there. I think it was Took and Kiri at first, and then it looks like Took gets hit by a leaf and kind of flies off, and then as Kiri's turning around to look at her, it makes it almost look like Loak was the one that was right there. So I'm going to assume
Yeah,
maybe he was in front of them.
I need you.
giving me those Titanic vibes, man.
And Neytiri does not look like she's in a good spot there. Pretty
No,
panicked.
don't worry, Drew. She'll make it out, man. Don't worry.
Avatar 12, that's when she
Oh my
passes away,
God.
guys. You heard it here first.
And Avatar guy says he needs to head off. Good stream. Thanks for stopping by, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for supporting us, buddy.
And then where is Netayam? They need to show him more. I mean, yeah, we did get that shot of him younger, but yeah, they're still holding off on the Netayam, which I thought they would have showed a little bit more in this the official trailer, but they're still holding off on that.
Which surprises me because being the older son, I thought he would play a huge part, and maybe he does, but we're not getting that vibe from him just yet.
Exactly. And then here's probably the most interesting part of the trailer. You see, I don't even know, man. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know.
Well,
Kiri
have you ever seen Iron Man? Because I'm pretty sure this is like the power suit powering up here.
What? Oh, what do you mean? What what are you talking about?
I don't really watch the MCU, but Iron Man's got that suit with that little power thing in his chest. It's kind of what I thought of.
Oh my God! I was like, where is this going? I was like, no, now you're gonna be like Jim, bashing at Marvel and DC. Stop, Drew. Stop.
No bashing. But really, I did get the vibes of her like powering up here.
Yeah, I thought that's where you were maybe gonna
some really
mention because like you
alternative
see the
source.
dots, yeah. But they say it kind of reminds me of Goku. That's actually what I was gonna say. I was like, man, it looks like she's powering up a freaking Kamehameha or something. But that and 11 from Stranger Things, her always doing the, using whatever powers she has, telekinetic powers. Exactly, Goku Kamehameha.
I've got to also add, this is actually my least favorite part of the trailer.
Oh, Drew coming out with the controversial thought. Well, is it that now that we got to this portion and it basically kind of looks like, I don't know, she's gonna have some kind of powers. I don't want to speak for it, but at least that's the kind of vibe that we're getting in this little shot here. Are you saying you don't really not vibing with that?
No, I'm not really digging it. Now, don't get me wrong. I could definitely change my opinion when I actually get to learn more about Kiri, see what her powers are. I might end up loving it. My first thought though when I watched this was WTF. Like, seriously, I don't want to see her like spewing some kind of power out of her hands, which kind of appears to be what happens. But hey, it might be awesome. I might end up loving it. I mean, I'm not going to be closed minded and say, oh, I hate this character or I hate what she's going to be because I don't know enough about her to make that final call. But my
Yeah.
first thought is, I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping it's very subtle and it's more like her, like, I don't know, because I believe the very next shot is like the Tokun, if we get there, which I don't believe, the shots are related, but I hope that they're kind of
Right.
giving you that hint where, let's see if I can get to it. They're kind of making it
The
seem
hint
like,
that
oh man, she made the
she
Tokun,
controlled it.
do, yeah. But honestly, I would be okay with something like that where like her powers, maybe she can, I don't know, control either plants or the creatures or something to kind of do, what she tells it to do without even having like linking to it. It's kind of like she's so connected, and because maybe, she's part of AWA, she can kind of just tell them what to do. So I'm hoping it's just something like that. And it's, it's just illustrated very, exaggerated a little bit. So I'm hoping it's a little something a little subtle like that.
It's all science fiction, so it's kind of funny to say what I'm going to say, but I've kind of enjoyed the parts that are more grounded in reality. Like, I mean, you have to suspend some disbelief that there aren't not me running around, but I
Yeah.
enjoy them for what they are. So, like, to see that, I don't know. It was kind of turned me off a little bit. But like I said, I might end up loving the character. I might end up loving her. But as of right now, I'm not excited for Curie at all, to be totally honest.
Really, like, at all?
Not even a little
Wow.
bit.
Wow. What do you guys think in the chat? Like, are you guys liking her potentially having some kind of powers, or, I'm hoping it's a misdirect and it's just very subtle and it's just maybe her being able to connect with plants and the creatures without even having to connect with them. And are you guys excited for Kiri? Or, I mean, I still, I'm excited for all the mystery surrounding her. Yeah, that little aspect right there kind of like gives me pause as well. But like I said, I'm just hoping that it's a lot more subtle. Like you said, they put so much, like, everything else is kind of based in science fact in a way, even though it's science fiction. For, like you said, for something to just completely be like a little too out there, but I'm still hoping for a little subtlety. Let's see here. Charlie Wood says, I'm excited for Kiri. The Kamehameha seems weird. Yeah, let's just always refer to it from now until we see the movie as the Kamehameha. Seems weird, but we'll see. I love that she's Grace and AWA simultaneously. Like, I do love that aspect, and I do want to see like that play out and what that means. And she's kind of basically like Pandora's Messiah. So she's like Pandora's Jesus is what it's looking like it's gonna be. Holden King says, I just don't want her to feel like a superhero. And so, yeah, for the most part, Afton Child says, I'm excited for Kiri. So I think most people are with you.
I think Holden King actually brought up what kind of worries me about the character is that exactly. I don't want her to be a superhero. And she may not be. I might be getting the wrong vibes off of it. But that's kind of what I'm hoping to avoid as well.
And I don't think he will. I mean, as we've seen him, honestly, for the most part, he says he still enjoys it mostly, but kind of bash the superhero genre. I don't think he would implement, a superhero-like character into his own movie. So I'm hoping that instead of looking at it more like kind of like superhero, it'll be more on in the spiritual lane where it'll be more like that, like a Jesus or something like that, where it's like, I don't think you can label him as a superhero. You know what I mean? Where it's just more on like on a spiritual level. So which I would be down with that more than, like you said, just going the full superhero route and just, being more goofy like that. So
Yeah, and I mean it's a highly edited trailer. I mean, she could literally be doing her hands like that, and it seemed like light was coming from whatever she was doing. Maybe they swam down to a cave and needed to see in there, and she's able to produce light. I don't know, but the vibe I got from
yeah,
it was like, really, she's like straight up powering up about to blast somebody with her hands. Like, is this X-Men or something? Like, what am I watching here?
no, I don't. I think that's probably, like you said, like little misdirect. I want you to think maybe that's it, but I think it's more like she can just control things. Let's see here. I can sense that she will have an important role to play for the Navi, like victory wise, but I guess I'm neutral. And Brianna Brown says, I don't think she has powers coming from her hands. Maybe it's kind of a mind control thing. That's where I hope it is, because I would be cool with that. Would you be fine with just it being some kind of like just a deeper connection where she can kind of control things just with the mind, like creatures and plants of Pandora?
Yeah, and I feel pretty confident that she can, or at least that they are just drawn to her just because from that little preview of the high ground.
Yes. I
Of
was
her
just gonna
hugging
say
the
that.
Ekron. So
Yes.
I'm real confident that she is going to have a for sure special relationship with the creatures. Um, yeah, if the extent of her powers was not even manipulation of creatures per se, but just like being able to communicate, like, hey, I need you to do this for me, um, you know, on a deeper level, I would be cool with that. I don't want to see any crazy thing too much farther than that, I would say. But
Yeah. Yeah, I think you hit it right there where we see from the preview of the high ground that she tamed a banshee, an Ekron, when she was very young, it looked like. So I think that's what it is. It's more, she just has that deeper connection to the environment and the creatures around her. And like you've said throughout the trailer, you've said like things seem to kind of gravitate towards her and all that. So I think it's more on that level. Or like Igor says, she could just be doing sign language.
hey, anything's possible. I mean, the way it's edited and stuff, I mean, seriously, anything's possible at this point.
uh oh man, that's funny. I remember for so long people thought, she was gonna just communicate with the sign language, so that one's pretty funny. Let's see here. It will make more sense during the course of the films till the quest for Awa will understand more about spirituality. As Sigourney said, her character will transform during the films. Yeah, great point. Yeah, we've talked about that before, where I believe back in 2014, she described that her character, before we even knew it was Kiri, will transform during the film. So yeah, maybe it's something like that. It's more spiritual, and it'll still be interesting to see. And Aftonchild says, I kind of forgot there's going to be sign language in this movie. Yeah, it seems like it's mostly playing a part because of the, being able to communicate underwater. So it's most likely something the Metkayina will teach, uh, the Solis as they arrive and get used to the environment. Let's see here. So let's continue the last little bit. More shots here of like the battle at the surface of the water. Jake on a skimwing. Man, I can't wait to see this. The battle in the first movie is to this day one of my favorite in like just all movies. It's up there with battles from, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they top it. And I guess, with having like land, at sea level, like surface of the water battles and even underwater, I think that's a pretty good way you can top it. Any opinions, Drew?
Yeah, I'm super excited for this battle. It looks looks like it's going to be exciting. James Cameron does such good battle scenes, maps them out perfectly, like just huge epic events. Like this will probably be one of my favorite parts of the movie. I'm going to assume.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Stronghold.
I love that little reference to the first movie, you know, the strong heart. And man, just like Neytiri there, just like wrecking shop, dude.
Yeah,
That
that
looks
was awesome.
awesome.
Flying off over Ekron, doing a somersault, and shooting all at the same time
Yeah.
with no
Oh.
magic lightning bolts coming out of her hands. Might
My
I add?
God. Oh my God. All right, freaking Emperor Palpatine over here. But you know what? Jim, you can add what you want, man. Do it. Do it. Add what you want. Give her lightning powers. No. No, please don't add lightning powers, please. But yeah, just kind of Jake motivating Neytiri here a little bit, and just more of that battle, picking up her father's bow that he passed on to her during the first movie when he was dying to protect the people. So man, it's just what a way to end this trailer, dude.
Yeah, I love seeing her grab that bow. To me, that was one of my favorite moments of the trailer.
And yeah, that was the trailer, guys. So as a whole, super happy, Drew. Are you happy with the trailer?
Oh yeah, I am. Like I'm carrying on about Kiri to some degree. Like I do maybe have a few little kind of eyebrow raising moments in there, but like I mean, I think this movie is going to be awesome. I'm sure in the end I'm going to be like, okay, I understand why they did that. Okay, that's tastefully done. Oh, I love that. But I mean, I think it's good to question what you see, and hey, you know, I'm not blindly going into it just thinking it's all the greatest thing in the world. I like to objectively think about each thing I'm thinking or each thing I'm seeing, and if I see something that kind of makes me say what, then I'm going to say it. But no,
Yeah, of course.
I'm so excited
Yeah.
after seeing that trailer. Oh, it got me pumped.
Yeah, even if there's like a little bit of pause on, you know, what the heck is happening in that particular little tiny scene, you know, overall, it's just the movie's looking incredible. Like visually, story wise, has me super intrigued. Just everything just seems next level. Photorealism of the CG, and can't wait to go see Wakanda Forever in 3D. Now I got to get tickets for that to see this trailer that they're going to show in front of it in 3D, because there you'll get like the full, complete sense of this trailer and those images the way they're meant to be seen. So super looking forward to that.
I actually thought it was called Wakanda Never, so that's interesting. That's Wakanda Forever.
Oh my God. Holy smokes.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be awesome. I'm excited to hear it. Like, think when you see it in 3D in the theater, that's gonna rock, because that trailer brings the heat.
At least I'm hoping Black Panther 2 is going to be a lot better than Doctor Strange, because I went to see that, I believe, twice. Hated it every single time. The best part was just seeing the teaser for The Way of Water. I believe once in 2D and once in 3D, and the 3D version of it just, oh my God. So I cannot wait. I'm sure, Wakanda Forever won't be as bad as Doctor Strange. I just really didn't like it. But anyways, we don't got to get into that.
I hope.
But yeah, I'll be going
Wakanda
just to check
Never,
out the. What was that?
I hope that Wakanda Never is better than Wakanda Number 1 as
Oh
well.
my God. Oh my gosh. Drew coming with the heat. No, yeah, Charlie Wood. I agree. I'm not currently on board. I'm not currently on board with like what the MCU is doing at the moment. I'd only go see this because I did like the first one of Black Panther, but now it's like I didn't check out Thor. I haven't seen any of the recent, Marvel Disney Plus show. I saw the first 2 or 3, and they just did nothing for me. The first 3 phases I thought were pretty good, but other than that, I'm over it at this point. Let's see here. Be careful, the MCU fan might hear you. It's okay. We can speak our mind in here.
Yeah, and I'm just carrying on. Like, I didn't really care for the first Wakanda movie, but I'm not a huge MCU fan, but I'm actually not a huge movie fan in general. I don't watch a whole lot. I usually just kind of keep to a few old ones that I watch over and over. So, my opinion doesn't really mean much.
Yeah, well, I mean, it means, everything to yourself, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. So it's all good. Like, no hate to any group, but at the same time, we can always just, speak our mind. Just like you kind of did on that little trailer, like that little moment with Kiri, kind of raise your eyebrow a little bit. It's okay. We can question things. We can say, this looks a little iffy. I love this. It's all good. Like, I want to just be able to speak whatever we, think around here. Let's see here. Do you guys think Jake and Neytiri will become distant in this film due to being parents?
I don't think it's going to happen in this film, but I do kind of see that maybe happening as the series progresses. They'll become maybe, I don't know, maybe one or both of them will eventually die, but I think they'll become less important as the kids kind of fill that role.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say not in this one, because you do see a lot of moments where at least Jake is, he's really trying. He's, trying to comfort her, like in different scenes that we've seen, even at the very end of the teaser and everything. But maybe over time, like you said, in the further sequels, this could all start to weigh on them a bit and their relationship. But at the end of the day, I think they'll pull through no matter what. And hopefully, like you said, Drew, Neytiri does not die.
And if she does, we have Kiri to bring her back to life. So it's not really a big deal.
Oh my god. Just give her all the powers, please. Just give her all the powers. And now people that like superhero movies can just watch Avatar, because now you're going to see all the powers in here. And if you like Star Wars, she's going to have the Force too, so don't worry about it. It's okay. Oh no.
Yeah, we don't know who her father is, because her father's Darth Vader. It's actually Kiri Skywalker. Spoiler alert.
Oh, her chosen name. Let's see here. And somebody just saying they saw sparks between Loak and Soraya. Yeah, I do agree. I believe they're going to be the ones out of all the different, younger kids. I mean, we call them kids, but you know what I mean, teenagers that we see, at least so far. I believe those are the two that would get together. But
I'm really interested in what's going on with Neteyam versus Loak. It seems like Loak's going to kind of be more of a central character. And why is that? Is the elder brother going to pass away? Are we just not seeing what he's going to become at this point? But it's kind of odd to me that they're focusing on the younger brother. At least
I think it's, yeah, exactly. And I believe maybe it's a mixture of what we've talked about, where I think this one's going to be his environment. So, these based around the Metcaina and everything are going to be mainly like, his push, his movies in a way. Whereas I don't think it means Neteyam's going to die right now. I think his story is to be told, like his importance is maybe just down the road, like he's going to find his role that, I mean, it does say that he's trying to play the hero. So he's trying to live up to that, probably his father's name and everything. So he probably has big shoes to fill. So that weighs on him, but I believe his time will come in one of these future sequels or future environments,
Would you? I mean, I was joking around a lot about Neytiri earlier. How would you feel if one of the core Sully family members died? Is that something you're open to, or do you think that would be too much?
I don't know.
And I'm
I
talking
guess
about
I
in the
didn't.
way of water specifically.
Well, throughout the sequels, I expected at this point because I believe James has been preparing us for it. Because, like he says, you're gonna see real loss. Not everybody's gonna make it out, and there's gonna be real stakes in each of these individual movies. So I believe there might be a tragedy even in this first one because he does state even in this first sequel there is gonna be already tragedy and loss. So I don't think it's gonna be like you said one of the core Sully family members already. I would say at least maybe in 3 for like a core Sully member, but maybe a different a Metagaina, something along those lines. You could still grow to love him throughout the movie, but it's not somebody you've known from the first or even a core Sully family member.
I could definitely see that and get behind that because look at Trudy. I mean, she was actually one of my favorite characters in the first movie, and she didn't make it. So I could definitely see
Exactly.
maybe even a character we haven't met yet, like Varong. Even I don't even know who she's going to be. Maybe we'll grow
Yeah.
to love her throughout the movie, but then maybe with time she'll die, or maybe a character we've never even heard of yet we're going to become attached to, but they'll pass away. But yeah, I would like to see the whole Sully family at least make it through Avatar 2.
Yeah, and I believe like if I was a betting man right now, I would bet that the core Sully family does make it out, including the adopted children. I would say if we're gonna see a death in 2, it's gonna be like a Metagaina, or maybe even some human characters that we know. Maybe a Norm, or maybe Max Patel, something along those lines. Somebody outside of the inner Sully core family circle. At least that's my guess for the second. 3 and on, anybody, I believe, even a core Sully member can die. Even Neytiri, Drew.
Oof. These are fighting words.
you're like,
I think
then
it's
3 is
interesting
my
that we
stopping
haven't.
point.
I think it's interesting that we've seen basically nothing of Norm besides some publicity photos of Joel David Moore. I don't know if that's because they kind of are trying to keep the fact that he may have his avatar body back a secret. I'm not sure. But I'm surprised we haven't really seen anything of Norm either as a human in either trailer or in his avatar body.
Really, none of the remaining human characters from the first movie, like any of those, how they said, some were chosen to stay. You haven't really seen
Right.
any like good quote unquote good avatars in all of this promotion. We've just seen only recoms and RDA. So it's like, where are all the humans that did stay behind in the first one, that stayed behind to help? Maybe they're still with the Ometikaya clan, or like you said, maybe they're just really holding some things really close to the vest, and we'll just see that kind of play out in the movie. But yeah, I would say Norm, if he's not already dead, because I first thought he would maybe already be dead by the time this movie even started. Maybe because of the events of the High Ground, when the RDA first comes back, it is stated in the description like a lot of Na'vi die and a lot of the humans that were there at Hell's Gate die. So there is even going to be loss in the High Ground. So I was thinking that, but we did see that behind the scenes. But you never know; like that could be a flashback. Seeing him there
Sure.
with that band. So we don't know. We haven't really seen any humans, from the first movie. So I don't know. It's interesting, man.
It is interesting to think about. It's going to be wild. 3 hours and 10 minutes. I mean, there's going to be a ton we haven't seen, a ton that we learned. I'm sure it's going to take twists and turns that right now seem like we haven't figured out are going to end up being totally wrong. And I'm excited for that.
Exactly. And all right. I mean, I believe we've pretty much covered everything the trailer had to offer. Uh, lastly, Brianna asked, "Do you think there will be more trailers?" I mean, usually there's a second like official trailer, like official trailer 2, or what they call sometimes the final trailer. So maybe I actually hope that this was the last big trailer and that all we see from here on out is just kind of like little TV spots. I don't know if you're in a different camp on in terms of that.
I feel like this is it. Like you said, there might be some that they chop up with the footage we already have, maybe tiny little bits that we haven't seen, but I get the feeling like this is it. This is the last big hype. This is what's going to be before the movies going forward. And this is what's going to get us excited all the way up for the next month.
Yeah. Interestingly, Afton Child says, I have an idea this trailer was all about the Navi, and then the next trailer is all about the humans. That'd actually be pretty interesting. But because yeah, you really
It'll
didn't
be very
see
interesting.
yeah, you didn't really see the RDA perspective on anything except, just shots of them either destroying stuff or fighting the Navi. It was mostly all the Navi perspective. So, that's a good little way to look at it right there. So maybe in the final trailer you'd get more of the RDA, but I still would hope that this was the last big one, and we're so close, so to get another big trailer in just like what, a month, a few weeks, like what, 3-4 weeks from now, I'd rather just only get like little TV spots. Like you say, every now and then they throw a tiny little clip here and there in TV spots that you didn't see like in the big trailers, but nothing too revealing. So, man, I'm ready for the movie now at this point. It's just next month officially.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't believe we're this close. And that's really the biggest reason I don't think we're getting another trailer is how long they waited between the teaser and the official trailer, and then how little amount of time is left between now and the movie releases. That's really the biggest reason I don't think we're getting another one.
Yeah. And yeah, guys, I was gonna say I did find that there are some stuff I'm gonna put up in my socials, because I did find that there's other stuff already out there that's, I don't know if it just started coming out, but there's really no promotion about it yet. But if anybody's looking for, like, if you're thinking Christmas already, some ornaments, there's already a few Avatar ornaments out there. There's a new one that comes out actually in 2 days. So on November 4th, it's a Neytiri on her Banshee ornament from Hallmark. So I'm actually, like, right after this, I'm going to start showing some of that stuff on my socials and probably make a video about it later. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff out there, guys. Like, I mean, I loved with the recent Star Wars movies. I think I told you, like, off air, I love that it was kind of like the season of Star Wars. Like, I'm a lifelong Star Wars fan, so it was awesome when they were coming out in December. That kind of in the lead up, like, it kind of took over my Christmas celebration. Like, I ended up adding a lot of like Star Wars ornaments, and some stocking stuffers were like Star Wars themed, because it really felt like it was the season of Star Wars when those movies were coming out. And I really loved that, like, going up to them. So I hope maybe not too much with this one, because we haven't really seen too much of it, but especially with the next ones going forward, I hope they kind of do that, where they dive into kind of making it the season of Avatar, giving you a lot of, like, I don't know, stuff for Christmas or just other things. Like, I could be weird, but I love that at the time it was my favorite part of the recent Star Wars movies. It was just like the lead up to them, just feeling like it was the hype season for them. You into that stuff?
Oh, 100%, man. I think it just kind of helps not bring it to life, but kind of just bring it home, like going and seeing the movie, even though it's going to be 3 hours, that's such a short amount of time. I mean, how many times realistically are any of us going to see it? 5 times, 10 times, maybe. I mean, that's
10
not very
times.
much of your life. I mean, it's fun to bring that stuff home. You know, it's fun to look back in a few years and be like, oh, hey, I remember getting that Neytiri ornament. I remember getting that Jake ornament. That's when Avatar 2 came out. A lot of
Exactly.
fun memories get tied to some of that merchandise. So it becomes more than just a figure, just an ornament. It's, the memories that are tied to it is what is meaningful to me.
Exactly. Perfectly said, man, because that's exactly it. Like, even right now, I already have nostalgia for when I'm going to start setting up my Christmas stuff in a little bit. Seeing some of those Star Wars ornaments, maybe like even the Mando and Grogu ones, thinking back to that first 2019 when it aired, that fall season. And it was the last big Star Wars season for me. And my family was all into it. So it wasn't just me. So I love that we all got into it. And hopefully we can kind of do that for Avatar as well. And just like you said, you could look back at a particular ornament or just anything that you get, anything, even if it's a toy or whatever, a figure that you can look back and be like, yeah, that was in the lead up to this. And that's how excited I was. Just that's why I love these little collectibles and stuff. Like, to me, they hold more value than just like what it represents, just like the character. It's always about like what I remember of the time when I did get it. It represents more than that for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know this is something I told you, but when I was collecting the Avatar 1 figures back in the day, I'd have them shipped to my grandma's because, I mean, she was retired, she was at home, she could get the boxes or whatever. And now she's not around anymore. So, like, looking at the figures, I mean, that's something I think of. I think I remember back to getting those from my grandma's house. So, I mean, yeah, it's just the exact same thing, man. It's kind of the feelings that go with it. We all love the franchise, and buying merchandise doesn't make you more or less of a fan. But I
Yeah,
know for me, it kind of speaks to me on a different level than just, hey, I've got plastic junk to sit on the shelf.
but it just has more meaning for you, and that's all that matters, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, and one
It's
last question:
yeah.
who will be more powerful, Grogu or Kiri?
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Just when I think we're
I
out,
don't.
man, you
I
pull me
don't
back
hate
into that.
Kiri, guys.
Oh
I
my
don't hate
god.
Kiri.
I
I'm
think
carrying
Drew's
on
mood
for
just
fun
soured as
conversation.
soon as we got to that part in the trailer. Drew's not this. He's not going to
No,
be the same ever again.
I can't wait to see what comes of all that. So honestly, I'm so excited.
Yeah, whether at the end, you might like it or be completely okay with it or not. At least it's the journey. It's discovering. I love these that there's still these mysteries. I love mysteries, so I love going into a movie and because honestly, look, we even got a whole other trailer. I still almost know nothing, new than what we already knew before. Aside from
Yeah,
like
we
maybe a
kind of
couple things here and
confirmed
there.
some things.
Yeah, things that we
We
had already
confirmed some
kind of like
things.
guessed.
Yeah, and we added some more mystery. Why Spider with the recoms that have destroyed Metcaina village? I mean, I love stuff like that. It's like what is happening here? It's thought provoking.
Yeah. All right, and we'll just tackle the last two comments here. Oleg says, "Will they release the rest of McFarlane characters just like in Lego? It seems incomplete." Um, so like more from the first movie, or because there is that whole wave 2 coming that represents the way of water, but like that, I believe the first wave is just trying to remain a little spoiler free, so it's not really too crazy in terms of it doesn't give us like recom Quaritch, it doesn't give us other elements. There's none of the the kids. So I believe another wave of McFarlane will come after the movie that might be able to touch on a few more of these spoilery elements, maybe even more of the creatures like a Tokun in the small scale, because there's no way we're gonna be able to have a Tokun in the 7-inch scale. The Banshees are already huge, so like that would take up my entire room. So
Yeah, I hope we keep getting waves. Like I'm real confident we're going to get a third for sure, like you said, that has I mean, it almost certainly have Recon Courage. I can't imagine them not making a figure of him, but I would love to see some more Avatar 1 figures in the McFarlane scale, especially the 7-inch. Will we get them? I don't know. Hopefully, the line doesn't die out until Avatar 3. Like, hopefully, we can
Yeah.
still get some figures throughout the next couple of years. But if we will, it kind of remains to be seen. I figure we'll at least get one or two more waves, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping too. Like we had talked before, we had said, why we hope it's kind of where in between the movies they have a lot of potential to bring out more characters in the 7-inch scale, even just from the first movie. There's a whole plethora of characters they can dive into that we haven't gotten, and it'll just give them material to just keep going. Every few months, every half a year, just have a new wave come out. So that'll be interesting. Hopefully, like you said, the line is successful and that will happen. If not, then it's probably maybe 2 or 3 waves per movie, just at the time of the promotion, leading up to each movie. But hey, at least we're getting new figures. I mean, it's been 13 years since the Mattel line, so
The feeling I get so far too is that it has been successful, and I base that almost solely just on how much Amazon goes in and out of stock off of the figures from Avatar 1. I figure
yeah,
if those are still interesting enough for people to buy after so many years, that the Way of Water won't have any trouble selling figures.
exactly. And we have a question: is that the Sea Dragon in the trailer? I believe it is, unless there's an even bigger ship, but I would tend to believe it is. I know earlier somebody had put in probably the same person mentioning that they thought it would be bigger. Maybe it's just kind of like the camera
That's what
angle.
she said.
We're looking at it. So, you agree? You think it's the Sea Dragon, Drew?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, maybe it's not, but that was what I thought when I saw it. But I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah. And what it could be is
I
that
mean, a
they're
lot
not
of
just
this is
one.
just, and a lot of this is just we're taking what we've known, what we've heard, and kind of applying it to what we see. So, I mean, definitely could be
Yeah.
times where we misread the situation, but that was that was my guess when I saw it as well.
Yeah. And like we saw with the original and Avatar 1, there was multiple there was multiple dragon gunships, right?
I
Or
honestly
was there
can't
just one?
remember. I know we saw multiple ones in the teaser for The Way
Unless
of Water,
yeah.
but
Yeah, because there
I
was
can't
there
remember.
was multiples of them on that in the teaser for Way of Water. Yeah, like there on in Bridgehead City. So maybe there's
We
multiple of
didn't
the Sea Dragon motherships.
we didn't touch on it, but I actually believe one of those quick shots in today's trailer had recoms either going up or down ropes off of a dragon as well.
Yeah. You're right. The regular dragon we know from the first movie. Yeah. So
Mhm.
yeah, maybe it's not like one ship that's supposed to be like a huge you know Death Star type equivalent, but it's could be that there's different Sea Dragon motherships, and I mean it looked pretty massive to me. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what
guys,
she said.
way to end the stream. Any final thoughts, Drew, on the trailer before we end the stream?
Yeah, I mean, really, it just leaves me excited and wanting more. And I mean, that's about all you can ask for a trailer. I carried on about Kiri quite a bit, but honestly, I'm excited about the character. I have a lot of intrigue there. I don't think she'll become a superhero. Who knows? Um, but yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited to see where this takes us. I think it's going to be a really fantastic story. I think it's going to be cohesive. I love all the pre-work that went into this franchise before they decided to start making the sequels officially. A lot of work went in to make it flow, and that's something we didn't get with, say, Star Wars this last round. So I think this franchise is in good hands with James Cameron and the writers he brought in, and really, no matter who lives, who dies, who can do what, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, like you said, never bet against James Cameron. But like you said, there's already been so much planning. It's not, we're not kind of writing these as we go along. Oh, that worked and that didn't work. So let's, all these 4 scripts are done. They're complete. If hopefully 2 and 3 are successful enough, we get 4 and 5. But everything's already done. They already know the complete story, the through lines for all the characters. So now we kind of just got to sit back and relax and like enjoy the ride that they take us on. And it's one that, they said each individual movie will stand on its own, but at the end of the day, I want to see that full picture. They compared it, his inspiration was something like the Godfather type of legacy. You know what I mean? So to see the generational story with the family throughout Pandora, I'm so excited. This trailer just got me even more excited. Didn't even think that was possible. But yeah, I thank you to everybody that showed up here, to listen to us with our discussion of it and our breakdown, and for chiming in with your own opinions. It's been a blast just kind of like going back and forth with it. So yeah, thank you everybody, and go enjoy the rest of your day and go watch the trailer some more. I know it's already at like millions of views just in the first few hours of its release. So that's incredible. We see for everybody that said this was a dead franchise, nobody cares. I mean, come on, just the teaser alone broke the 24-hour record when that released, that no recent Star Wars movie held. So it's incredible. And yeah, just a quick shout out to the Avatar podcast who's tuning in. No matter what, it's going to be good. Drew and a rapidly increasing amount of people. I think this trailer alone swayed a crazy amount of doubters. Hype and numbers and good vibes don't lie. Yeah, perfectly said, man. I already see I'm going to see more reactions, but a lot of the people I watch on YouTube, everybody seems to enjoy it. Like we have said, there wasn't even bad word of mouth coming out of even the recent remaster. People were kind of like, why was I saying bad things about this movie? It's actually like amazing. It offers a cinematic experience that other movies just aren't doing at the moment. So I can't wait. Thank you everybody for showing up, and the links for Avatar sequels, because he has a new channel. He had to shuffle some things around. So please subscribe to him. The links are down below in the description. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.